is in our midst. And looking forward to that. He is and ever shall be. I thought it would be good in the middle of the summer like this to all sit and have what's called a children's sermon, okay? But the children's sermon is meant for the adults also, right? Because we always are learning. Children are always learning. And are adults always learning too? Yes, they are. Okay. Well, I thought, we talked a little bit about yesterday's feast to begin with. When you came into the church yesterday, it was the feast of, this is a hard one, and I don't know if any of you will remember, the Feast of Saints. What feast? Oh. See that? Saints Peter and Paul. And if you look at that icon, you saw Peter and Paul. What were they doing? Were they standing opposite of each other? Were they? There we go. They were hugging. They were embracing each other. Okay. That's a beautiful sign of two important, very, very important men. Nona too? Nona might have been there. Yeah. Maybe she was off in the distance, but she was. Thank you very much. That's me. At any rate, they're embracing each other, and this is really important because they're more than just embracing each other; they're welcoming each other. I think you all know something, and that is that Peter was one of the original 12 apostles, wasn't he? He was really the head of the apostles. Now, was Paul one of the 12? No. He's referred to sometimes as an apostle, but he was not one of the 12. He came later, okay? And I'm going to tell you something. Before he came, was Paul nice to Christians or was he mean to Christians? He was mean, okay? In fact, on one occasion, he even arranged for someone, a deacon, to be stoned. I won't talk about that, but, yeah. It's that. I know. So he was mean to Christians, but Paul, one day, as he was on the way to a city called Damascus, what's the story? In short form, Nicholas, in short form, what happens to Paul?
He was on his way to Damascus, but when he almost gets there, and he's caught in a bright light.
Right. And who does he see and hear in that light? Jesus. And Jesus says to him, Saul, that was what he was called at that point, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Okay. Very good. Why are you persecuting me? And so Paul, after that, I won't go through the rest of the story, but he became a Christian. He joined the Christians. But they were a little bit wary of him. Don't you think they would be at first? If someone showed up and said, hey, I want to be part of your group, but let's forget the fact that I arranged for the death of one of your deacons. Well, but as time went on, Paul was accepted. And we see in that icon sort of the fulfillment of that. Peter and Paul embracing. And later on, there were times when Peter and Paul didn't always agree about things, but they loved Jesus Christ. That was the most important thing, didn't they? They loved God, they loved Christ, and they wanted to do everything they could for the church. Everything they could. Now, let me ask you another question following this. Thinking about that icon and Peter and Paul hugging, as you said, hugging. That is, when people, kids your age, okay, kids your age, come to church for the first time, and let's think of Paul when he first got to know all the Christians. Let's say a child your age comes to church for the first time, let's say, and you see him kind of standing, let's say, after liturgy on the back, in the pavilion out there, and kind of looking around a little bit. Well, how do you think he feels if he's just standing there alone, first of all? Okay, hands. Sure. Confused. Any other hands? Yeah, Ezekiel?
Sad and lost.
Sad and lost? What were you going to say? Sad. Marie? Sad. Okay, lots of sads. Okay. And you've got a deeper explanation.
Lonely.
Okay. Yeah, now those are good. Are those Okay, Michael, I'm sorry. Lonely, okay, good. Those are all good, you're absolutely right, every one of you. Those are good answers, yeah. So, at a time like that, there he is standing all alone, and lots of kids, all of you out there playing play structures or getting something to eat or talking to each other, but he's standing there all alone. Now let me ask you a question. What's important for all of us? I'm talking about all of you, okay, that are sitting here right now. I'm talking to Billy, I'm talking to Nicholas, I'm talking to Michael, I'm talking to everyone, okay? I'm talking to everyone. What's important for us to do at that point, at that time, when we see him? What? Give alms. Well, not to him, although he might appreciate it. He might appreciate it. But here he is, he's standing there, Ezekiel. What does he need more than anything else? Comfort. Okay, what are you going to say? Marie, hands again, hands. Marie? Comfort. No. Okay, good. Amelia? Friendly. Okay. Nicholas? Okay. So I think you all have it. The way to take care of a person like that, who especially a child your age has come to the church for the first time, is to go up and say hi. You don't have to embrace him right away, maybe later, but you want to say hi, don't you? You want to come and play with us, right? Does that make sense? Otherwise, what happens? He stands there for the rest of the time he's at church. Nobody really comes up to say anything to him. His parents keep hoping that somebody will. And he goes home. You want to go back to Holy Cross next week? Maybe not. But remember that when you go up to someone and say hello, you're not just doing it on your behalf, but you're doing it on behalf of who? God. Right. Okay, you're doing it on behalf of God. You're drawing somebody in. You're pulling somebody in to your what? Your church, your community, and your little gang. Okay? Your mob. Okay. And you guys, you all know how to play. Have you all seen how our kids around here play? I mean, they've written a book about, not to mention military issues, images, swords and whatnot, skirmishes and whatnot, uniforms, all of that. But you know what I'm saying. And now, this child who was standing there feeling lonely, what does he feel now? Happy and welcome. Yeah, thank you. And his heart feels good. And does he want to come back next week? Yeah, and when he comes back next week, are you going to let him stand there lonely? No, you're going to go out to him and make him feel wanted, make him feel welcome. Make him feel welcome. Now I'm going to tell you something. Let me ask you a question. Does this happen not only with kids your age, but do you think it can happen with grown-ups? Yeah. And do you think it's happened here with grown-ups that someone would come maybe and not really be allowed to just sit alone? Yeah. And whose fault is that? Yeah. Okay. So we have to remember, don't we? We have to remind our parents, and parents have to remind kids, all of us, that when we see someone at church for the first, and this is so basic, so elementary, this is so essential to our faith. Someone comes to the church, but they need to be invited to the brother and the sister of Christ. And the way we do that is to begin by simply coming up to them and what? And engaging them and saying hello. Where are you from? Usually you'll find out that whoever comes here for the first time, you've got something in common with, or if you don't have something in common with them, you know someone who does, so you invite them to come over to the table too. And before you know it, we've got a discussion going, high theological concepts are being expressed, and the guy wants to know, when can I be baptized? And you say, you've got to wait for a while, because this is orthodoxy. We've got to drag it out, but nevertheless, this is really important. And it is a joy when I see that happen. And it drives a priest insane when it doesn't. You understand why? Why? Because somebody who comes, we are here to reach out to others. We are here to save the world in Jesus Christ, aren't we? But we've got to go out to meet people, don't we? Okay. And we've slipped on that in the parish a bit. We just have. We just have. And sometimes what will happen is, we'll say to ourselves, well, the priest will take care of that. You know, or somebody else will take care. Or so-and-so who's really kind of social will take care of that. But I'm shy, you know. I don't like to approach people. It's not, I'm shy. Well, you know what? It's time to get over your shyness. But remember, when we do this, we are doing this in Christ's name. We are doing this in the name, in the word, in the life, in the Eucharistic presence, welcoming people into our Eucharistic life and community. We're doing it in his name. The works of God, just like with the blind man, the works of God should be revealed in us at that very moment. And that is in the welcoming. That is in the welcoming. Right? So I kind of left you guys behind there. I started talking to the grown-ups there. I'm back. So if you see somebody today or next week standing there, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to say hi, and you're going to, what else? What else would you say? Invite them over to play. And ask their name. What's your name? That's very good. And that's sometimes we play a little rough out there. We got your sticks and your swords, and you know. So you have to be a little gentle at first. You don't say, here, you want a sword? We don't do that, right? The sword of truth. What? Watch out for little children, too. Be careful for little children. Yeah, be careful for little children. And there's a difference in your age groups, isn't there? You know, so, and I like the way you all do that. I've noticed that those of you who are older, we've got for the younger ones. We're always doing that, aren't we? Okay? Okay, so does that make sense? So let's be like Peter and Paul. Saints Peter and Paul pray for us, okay? Let's say that. Saints Peter and Paul. Christ is in our midst.